The wait is finally over on Coronation Street next week as we learn the identity of Theo Silverton's killer. And after last night's ominous trailer, here's the full lowdown on what to expect. Corey's epic murder mystery is set to be solved in a spectacular hour-long episode, in which secrets and lies are dished up at a dramatic dinner party. As the 6 guests tuck into their tea at Sarah Platt and Kit Green's flat, there's more on the menu than any of them bargained for. Shocking accusations are made, vengeful vendettas come to light and a violent altercation erupts, before the murderer is dramatically unmasked. The day kicks off with an ominous flash-forward to the end of the night, showing broken glass, a blood-spattered tablecloth and furniture thrown around Sarah's gaff. So how does the gathering come about, and why does it all kick off? Having worked himself into the ground trying to find the murderer, Kit is looking forward to a date night with Sarah. When the couple meet in the Rovers during the day, scatterbrained Sarah has clearly forgotten about her romantic evening as she invites Todd Grimshaw and Summer Spellman for dinner instead. Annoyed that their plans are scuppered, Kit is even more miffed when he later spies Sarah and Gary talking and looking cozy once again. But why are they spending so much time together? Kit interrupts Sarah's clandestine conversation and spontaneously invites Gary and Maria to the meal, reveals our spy. Sarah and Gary squirm, but Maria, who is equally suspicious of her husband's recent behavior, quickly accepts. Calculating Kit clearly has an agenda in getting the tense group round a table. This has disaster written all over it. While Kit preheats the oven and Sarah swallows her unease, Todd, Summer, Gary and Maria arrive. Rather than polite chit-chat while the main course cooks, the guests are soon serving up insults to each other as an allegation is made. Convinced that Gary has something to hide, either about his relationship with Sarah or Theo's murder, Kit tries to have a quiet word with him. But, rattled by the coppa's attention, Gary is on his guard. Meanwhile, Maria unsettles Sarah with bitchy comments aimed at her old love rival, thinking she's sniffing round her man, while poor Todd and Summer just feel awkward. Everyone takes their seats, and that's when the fun really starts. Maria raises a toast, but she's not about to give compliments to the chef, continues our mole. She boldly announces Gary and Sarah are having an affair. The guests are aghast, and the intense evening takes a turn for the catastrophic. But is there any truth to Maria's explosive claim? That's what Kit wants to know, as he shares Maria's belief their other halves are up to no good. Flashbacks then fill in the blanks over the events that led to Theo's grisly demise, finally revealing the killer, and the evening ends in a shocking showdown. Weatherfield was left reeling after the tragic death of Theo, a mystery that had haunted residents for weeks. Rumors spread through every corner of the cobbles, friendships fractured under suspicion, and families were torn apart by secrets. Now, in a dramatic episode packed with tension and emotion, the truth finally emerged through a series of chilling flashbacks that revealed exactly what happened on the night Theo died. The episode opened with a tense atmosphere hanging over the street. Residents gathered at Roy's Rolls discussing the latest developments in the police investigation. No one knew who to trust anymore. Every new clue seemed to point in a different direction. Meanwhile, detectives informed Theo's loved ones that a breakthrough had been made. The discovery sent shockwaves through Weatherfield, but the audience would have to wait as the story unfolded through carefully crafted flashbacks. The first flashback took viewers back to the evening of Theo's death. Theo was seen leaving a heated argument at the Rover's return. His frustration was obvious. Witnesses had previously described him as angry and unsettled, but the flashback revealed just how explosive the confrontation had been. As Theo stormed into the night, another figure followed him. The identity of the person remained hidden at first, keeping viewers on edge. The pair exchanged harsh words in a deserted alleyway, and it became clear that long-buried secrets were finally surfacing. Back in the present day, members of Theo's family struggled to cope with the possibility that someone they knew might be responsible. Emotions ran high as accusations flew. Several residents found themselves questioning past events and wondering whether warning signs had been missed. The next flashback peeled back another layer of the mystery. Theo confronted the mysterious individual about a betrayal that had devastated his life. The argument quickly escalated. Years of resentment erupted in a matter of minutes. Both were visibly emotional, and neither seemed willing to back down. Viewers learned that Theo had uncovered information capable of destroying lives. He threatened to expose everything, believing the truth deserved to be known. But his words triggered a dangerous reaction. The flashbacks suddenly cut away just as things became physical, leaving audiences desperate for answers. Back in Weatherfield, detectives assembled key witnesses. They revealed that new evidence had linked one suspect directly to the crime scene. The revelation stunned everyone. The suspect was someone many residents had trusted. As tension mounted, the episode returned to the night of Theo's death one final time. This time, the complete truth was shown. Theo and his attacker continued their confrontation in the alley. What began as a heated argument spiraled completely out of control. The killer desperately pleaded with Theo to stay silent, fearing the consequences if the secret became public. Theo refused. In a moment of panic and rage, the attacker shoved him violently. Theo stumbled backwards, striking his head against a hard surface. The impact was devastating. Both characters froze. For a brief moment, it seemed the attacker might call for help. Instead, fear took over. Realizing the seriousness of what had happened, they fled the scene and left Theo alone. The flashback ended with the haunting image of Theo lying motionless as the killer disappeared into the darkness. Back in the present, detectives officially named the person responsible. The announcement sent shockwaves throughout Weatherfield. Friends and family members were left speechless. Some refused to believe the truth, while others immediately recalled suspicious behavior following Theo's death. Suddenly, small details that had seemed insignificant took on a terrifying new meaning. The killer broke down during questioning. Consumed by guilt, they admitted that they never intended for Theo to die. What began as an attempt to silence him had turned into a tragedy that could never be undone. Their emotional confession revealed the immense burden they had carried ever since that night. Sleepless nights, constant paranoia, and overwhelming regret had slowly destroyed them from within. Despite the confession, Theo's loved ones struggled to find comfort. Nothing could bring him back. A heartbreaking scene followed as family members gathered to reflect on Theo's life. They shared memories, laughed through tears, and remembered the man behind the headlines. The emotional tribute served as a reminder that the real tragedy wasn't simply the mystery itself, but the loss of someone deeply loved. Meanwhile, residents across Weatherfield attempted to come to terms with the shocking truth. The exposure of Theo's killer left scars that would not heal quickly. Relationships were shattered, trust was broken, and several characters found themselves questioning everything they thought they knew. As the episode drew to a close, the killer was escorted away by police. The street watched in silence. Some faces showed anger. Others showed sadness. A few displayed sympathy for a person whose terrible decision had changed countless lives forever. The final scene focused on Theo's memorial photograph, illuminated by soft candlelight. Around it stood flowers, handwritten messages, and reminders of a life cut tragically short. But even as one chapter ended, another appeared ready to begin. Several residents exchanged uneasy glances, hinting that Theo's death may have uncovered only part of a much larger web of secrets. Hidden truths still lingered beneath the surface of Weatherfield, waiting for the right moment to emerge. For now, however, the mystery was solved. Theo's killer had finally been exposed. And Weatherfield would never be the same again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation Street.